Welcome to the Make More Money as a Dietitian podcast, where we talk about all things money, mindset, and marketing so your nutrition business can thrive and you can make a bigger impact in the marketplace. I am your host, Dyan, registered dietitian and money mindset expert. Let's get started with today's episode. Hey, you guys, before we get to today's episode and interview with Adrien Paczosa, which I know you're absolutely going to love and be inspired by, I want to give you a heads up. Heads up, my friends. I am teaching a live masterclass next week on how to get paid what your services are worth as an RD entrepreneur. Look, we are going big and we're doing all of the things in 2021, and I want you to be a part of this movement. If you are here and you're listening to this, you already know that Make More Money as a Dietitian is more than just this podcast. It is a full-on movement, and attending this masterclass is a part of that. You do not want to miss it. So if you're on Instagram and you're following me at money.mindset.dietitian, which is my handle, you can click on the link in the bio and register for the masterclass there. If you're on Facebook, it is on my business page, Dyan. If you're a part of my Money Mindset Mastery for RD Entrepreneurs Facebook group, you already know the registration is there. So no matter where you're following me, you will find the registration for this masterclass. This masterclass is going to be so good, you guys. I'm teaching it 3 separate times, starting next week on the 10th and the 11th, and then again the following week on the 17th, because I want to accommodate your schedule. So I have one in the afternoon, one in the evening, and then on the 17th, I'm doing it again in the afternoon in case next week just doesn't work out for you. I'm here for this movement. I hope you are too. So get registered and show up live because you do not want to miss this. All right, so let's go ahead and get started and listen to Adrien, because she, my friend, is another 7-figure RD. Let's get inspired. Let's go. And here we are. All right, you guys, here we are with another episode of Make More Money as a Dietitian. And of course, you know who I am, right? I'm your host of the most. I am your host, Dyan Thompson. And today I have another colleague with me. She's amazing, like we all are. Today I have Adrien Paczosa, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about accountability, because we all need it, right? So I'm going to let Adrien go ahead and introduce herself, tell us where you're from and what you are doing these days.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited to be here, Christine. Like, we're going to have a blast.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm in Austin, Texas. It is always warm. So anytime that you guys ever come to Texas, feel free to shoot me a message, because I'd love to hang out. Even with, depending on the time of the season, we will make it work. Gosh, the story of where I am. So I have a lot of different hats, and I would say that my main hats right now is I run a group practice in Austin, Texas. So we've got about 8 dietitians, and we specialize in eating disorders, addiction, mental health, developmental disorders, and we're an insurance-based private practice, and we're turning 14. So we've been kicking it for 14 years in multiple locations, and it's just rocking it. So that's hat number 1. That's like my top hat that I wear all the time, is being a business owner and running a group practice. And then out of that, like, my other hat that I just absolutely love is I have a podcast and some coaching called Fearless Practitioners, because I love y'all. And I wanted to teach everybody all the mistakes that I made, what not to do when having a private practice, so that you could be a rock star and make more money.
I think you're right on the money, right? I think um, being able, number one, to have a couple of streams of things that you do kind of keeps it fun and
Oh,
lively. So
yeah.
good for you. And it sounds like me, I love my podcast, and it sounds like you really love your podcast too. But I really would love to know, Adrian, like what really got you interested in nutrition and dietetics in the first place? How long have you been in the field, by the way?
Oh goodness, I've been in the field. Oh goodness, I want to say I'm really bad at numbers. I'm gonna guess like 22, 23 years.
Okay.
So I grew up. My mom's a nurse, and so I always grew up in the hospital. I was like, oh cool, I want to help people. This is amazing, but I don't want to touch them. Um, like who wants to touch blood and guts? Blah.
Yes, or poop.
Or poop? Yeah, we'll talk about poop 24/7, but not touch it.
Yeah, I don't want to
Um,
touch it.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
So I went off to be a dancer. And so traveled the world dancing, had all of these like wonderful experiences. And then like had like a come to Jesus moment when I broke my foot and I was like, okay, I'm a good dancer, but I'm not a great dancer. And I have a lifestyle that I think I should have.
Mm.
And I know I can't make it as a dancer. So why not go in the medical field and become a dietitian? That was seriously my thought. That is all I gave it thought to, and picked a school, and it ended up being an amazing school, and just fell in love with the profession. And I thought I was going to do sports nutrition and work for I went to school in Chicago, and I was going to work for the Bears or the Blackhawks or all these sports teams. And one thing led to another, and just fell into eating disorders. I thought I would never work in eating disorders, but they're magical little humans, and I love them.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it's one of those things that I was open to the possibilities of what this career could do. And I never saw it as a limiting possibility. People, when I was going to school, they're like, oh, by the way, starting salary is 35,000. I was like, cool. Well, that's starting, but that's not where I'm going to end up. So whatever, those are your thoughts and beliefs, but not mine. I had no idea where this crazy brain thought that, but I was just so thankful that I didn't think that that was where I was going to end up.
So good. I love just learning about the backgrounds of my colleagues. You guys are so fun. So I've had someone who was a celebrity nutritionist at one point. I have had another person tell me that she was a singer and guitar player in a rock band. And here you are, you were a dancer turned dietitian. I mean, you guys come on through because this is so fun interviewing and learning about you. I just thought you were fun because you live in Austin, Texas, but look at you with the big fancy background of being a dancer. And I come from a family of nurses too, and I was the same way. Like I grew up, and all of the women in my family did some form of nursing, and so of course they wanted me to follow on with the tradition, and I was like, this is not happening. This is not happening. But let me find a field or something that I can do where I don't have to touch pee and poop. So here we are.
I love it. I think that would be so cool at a next like dietetic conference to be like, what was like a little bit about your background? Like ask me about dance, or like
Yes.
I think that'd be fun to get to know people a little bit more.
Yes, yes. And one of the things that I'm learning is that there are so many second career dietitians. So it would be really, really interesting to learn more about what the first career was and how it led them to the field of dietetics.
Mhm.
And I just want to say, like, it really lends to how we can provide services to the community, especially when dietetics is a second career. I feel like for those of you who either were doing something before or you just have a love for something really strongly that led you to dietetics, just think about how all of your past experiences will lend to your uniqueness no matter what you decide to do in this field, right, Adrian?
Oh, so true. So as you're saying that, it made me think of like, I love to perform, like put me in front of a crowd and like, I am just as happy as a clam. And that's was one of the things that I always felt was missing in my dietetic career was performing. And so that's what helped me to
Mm.
get into more media spots and do more media and communications is like, oh, this is giving me all the ego munchies and I'm getting paid really well to talk about
Mhm.
whatever, and it aligns with my values, and so it just filled up so many buckets. So I think, how could you take some of those past experiences and put them into dietetics?
Yes, because nothing that we experience in this lifetime, at least this is my belief, right? Nothing that we experience in this lifetime is meant to be like just dead weight. Everything is supposed to be pulled in some way, whether it is just a lesson that we learn that we can share with another person, or if it's experiences or gifts and talents that we can pull into the work that we're currently doing. I really don't believe that anything that we've experienced is for naught. And it just reminds me of how this podcast, I have such a love for it. And it reminds me of how when I was a small child, I told this story before, so I'll tell it again. My cousin and I were both only children. Okay. And so I would often go over there and spend the night at her house. And y'all, I'm about to date myself, but you already know I'm 50. So I remember when we had cassette recorders. So we would have the little single cassette and it had a microphone, and we did our own radio show. And we had an intro and we had an outro, and we made up all these things that we would say. And it was just the craziest thing. And here I am, full circle behind the mic again, you know? So it's just, you guys don't discount your small beginnings, because I tell you, you will be surprised. You'll be surprised how your experiences will serve you well.
So true. I know exactly what kind was your cassette player. Did it have like a little flip up top and you put,
Yes,
yes,
Adrian.
I think I had the same one and with the little mic and it was like two
Yes.
inches tall. You're like, oh, I am so cool now.
Yes, yes, hey, you know about that. Yes, that's exactly what it looked like. And we had so much fun, and we make all these little unique sounds for our intro and outro. It was the craziest thing. So anyway, yes, I love your background story. And I just really want you to share some of the wisdom that I know that you came here with, which is to talk to all of us about accountability and what it means.
Mhm. Oh, and
And
I think, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say what it means for this profession, especially if you're in dietetics as an entrepreneur and you want to advance your business. How do you feel that accountability, like, really is important in that way?
It is the game changer. Um,
Yeah.
and, like bottom line, because we all have dreams. We all have all these ideas of where we want to go, and oh, we're setting these goals, and we have these yearly goals, and all of that, and that's amazing. And I encourage people to do that all of the time. And yet, if we don't have a way to check ourselves, to make sure we're on track, to make sure we're doing that, we're not going to do it. And I think we kind of forget that that is exactly what we do with our clients. So we are checking in weekly, monthly, however you see your patients, of like, oh, did you work on eating marshmallows this week or whatever their goal is? But we don't do that for ourselves in our business. And so
Hmm.
when we have those check-ins, we're like, how come I'm not making seven figures? How come I'm not doing this? Well, you didn't check in. You didn't set those benchmarks. You're not accountable to yourself, to somebody else, and you won't make those progresses in a timely fashion.
I love what you're saying about checking in with yourself, not meeting your benchmarks, and maybe not even setting them in the first place, right?
Oh, so there's so many times I'll talk with coaching clients and I'm like, oh, so what's your Q1, Q2 goals? And they're like, Q what? I'm like, okay, so let's talk about this. Like we've got to we have our yearly goals. We've got to break them down into quarterly. So like we've got to really think about it from a whole different standpoint from a business.
Hmm.
And I get it. We may not have gotten that education in school, and that's no good, bad, right, wrong. It just is what it is.
Hmm.
So really looking at your practice as a business. And I always tell people, if you aren't tracking your money, this is a hobby and go back to doing what you're doing. Um,
Right. 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 You know, yeah, I have so much that I could say about that. But one of the things that I always love to impress upon people is that you have to be a business owner first and a dietitian second, because this is like for all of you who are out there who are either wanting to be in entrepreneurship or business for yourself or not.
yeah.
Seriously, I think nutrition needs to be a business first and foremost. But specifically for those of us who are in entrepreneurship, you already have your skills as a dietitian down. Like, you have done all the work for that. You have put in all the blood, sweat, and tears and done all of the things. Now you have to really focus on being a business owner. And like Adrien was just saying, like, we didn't get the skills in that, and that's okay. It's just like anything else you have to get continue ed on. Why not focus on being the best business owner that you can be? And I also want to say, like, I have a love-hate relationship with the term entrepreneurship, because it it really waters down what it means to be a true business owner, you know? And I just saw your face light up when I said that. So I'm gonna let Adrien give her two pieces on that as well.
I think the word, so for me personally, I think the word entrepreneur just scares me. Even though I've had a company for 14 years, I'm just like, but then that means like I'm really responsible. I've got employees, we've got 401ks and health insurance, and like we're like a legit company. I'm like, but I'm not an entrepreneur. I don't know what I'm doing. And I think it
Mm,
because it has that big connotation. I think that those are Fortune 500, like Sarah Blakely. She's an
mm,
entrepreneur. But I think it's one of those, but I'm a business owner. We are taking action. We are doing business. We are making money, and I'm not afraid to spend money. And so I think
mm-hmm,
looking at what makes me feel more secure and safe, to me, I think an entrepreneur is like a venture capitalist, which I can't wait to be
mm,
someday. Um, but I think that
mm-hmm.
to me, it's one of those. I would rather be more nuts and bolts about my business and really understand it, as opposed to this other word that doesn't I don't identify with.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? For me, entrepreneurship, um, it feels more visionary and less practical as far as like the big picture of a true company, right?
Mhm.
Versus business owner, that in my opinion, it feels more like, okay, I own this business. I have had a vision for it, and I have all of the things that are necessary, the components to be a true company. Whereas entrepreneurship, I feel like you can have the vision, you can be super creative and all of the things, but you don't necessarily have all of your business components in order. That's just how my brain thinks of it. It's like a watered down version. Entrepreneurship is a watered down version of business ownership. But that's just me. I don't want anyone to take on my thoughts or beliefs, but that's just the way that I feel about entrepreneurship. So I just tend to call myself a business owner or a businesswoman instead of an entrepreneur, because for me, being an entrepreneur just means I have a lot of ideas. But when it comes to being a business owner, means that I have ownership over a business.
Mhm.
So it's just like the way that I define the two. So when it comes to being in business for yourself, Adrien, and being able to set those benchmarks and meet them and hold yourself accountable, do you have any tips or any suggestions you want to give us in regards to that?
Find a mentor, join a group, do something. Um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because my first thing, and I love this is all about money. I always say, scared money don't make money. So if
Mm,
you're too scared to invest in yourself, you're not going to make it. And I think having an external person to hold you accountable and call you on your BS is when you will see you to actually do work. So probably, gosh, 5, 6 years ago, me and a whole bunch of my other girlfriends that are entrepreneurs and they're not in the dietetic field, we started a nonprofit group where we
mhm,
had to go in every single month and show our P&Ls, our profit and losses, and go over all of our money and go over everything of our benchmarks, of our KPIs. And it shook me like to the core. And I was like, I am so scared. Everybody's going to see my dirty laundry.
Mm-hmm.
And holy hell, if that did not like make my business go like tenfold greater every single time since that, it makes me know that I've got to show somebody my profit and losses and I've got to hit my KPIs. Oh, you better bet I'm going to do it because I'm not going to look crazy in front of, and these are my best friends. And
Yeah.
so it has been life-changing. And so that's one of the things that now I do with all my coaching clients is on top of like, we're setting up your companies and expanding them. We're looking at your KPIs. We're looking at your profit and losses. And you better believe I'm going to ask questions like, how come you lost $10,000 in this month? What's going on?
Okay. So y'all, do y'all hear Adrien talking all this business lingo that you may not be familiar with? Does anyone know what a KPI is? Does anyone know what a P&L is? And let me just reiterate this new mantra that you need to embody, which is scared money don't make money, boo. Okay? Scared money don't make money. But Adrien, I would love for you to like give some definitions to these terms for those who are not familiar. You already know, I know what they are, but go
Yes.
ahead and educate all the folks.
Yeah, sorry, I'll just go down the whole money. All like this just makes me so happy. I'm like all sweaty because I'm like, oh, this is so much fun.
Good stuff.
So profit and losses is profit, how much money you have coming in after you've paid all of your things, and losses is how the money going out. So every month you should be running this report. And if it's a small amount, no good, bad, right, wrong, you got to start somewhere. And I wish somebody would have told me you need to look at your numbers at least every single month. And so looking at how much money is going out, how much money is coming in, and do you have a profit? So one of the things that actually irks me all the time, I love social media. I think it's amazing. But when somebody's like, oh, I'm a 6-figure dietitian, I'm like, cool beans, what's your profit?
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the things that really gets you to understand your money. And then KPIs, it's key performance indicators. These are the little nuggets that you are going to measure your success for. So just like with clients, it might be that they need to make a gluten-free diet or they've got to cook marshmallow soup. I don't know, whatever you set as their weekly goals, that's what your KPIs are for your business. I need to market to 20 physicians in a month. I need to send out 240 emails by Thursday. Whatever these markers are, you want to have those set up every single month. And those are the things that are going to track the growth of your business. So coming up with them is very individual for each company, for each practice. And that's kind of the secret sauce behind a lot of growth for companies.
Yeah. And so Adrien, with your company, how do you choose your KPIs, and then how are you seeing them shift over time?
So great question. So when I first picked them, it was just random. There was no science because I had no clue what I was doing. I was like, cool, that sounds good. And so then I wanted to really see what caused our practice to grow. So was it Instagram posts? And I'm just using that because that's something that causes zero growth in our practice. Was it going out and talking to physicians? Was it sending notes after a session? So I started to be really investigatory. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm going to make it one. Yeah, cool beans. So I started getting really nosy about what was causing my practice to grow and getting curious. And like, where am I going to spend my time, money, and resources to really see a payoff? And so I picked some we still use, some we don't, but that's how I started that whole process. It took a good year to figure out what were my KPIs, and they change from year to year. So it might be something that we're also testing out, like, oh, let's see if blogging does that still work? It does. Holy hell, does it ever?
Yeah, no doubt. And you touched on one for me, and some of y'all might not like me after this, but you said Instagram is not one of your biggest ones. And I just recently posted something in one of the larger dietitian Facebook groups about Instagram Reels, and is it really bringing in clients because, and it's funny, before I even go any further, it's funny because a lot of people probably thought that I shared that because I wanted to learn how to do reels. And I just want to let y'all know that's not happening. I'm not going to be like spending my time pointing at various like caption thingamabobs. I'm not here for that. I'm here to do the work. And to me, I want to spend my time wisely. And I don't feel like that doing reels is the wisest use of my time for my business. So I was just curious to know, like when I shared that, I want to know, like, is it really bringing you clients, and how are you tracking how it's bringing you clients if you are? And I could see that maybe for those who are doing business to business, that that could possibly be something that would be helpful to them. But for those dietitians who are doing business to consumer, it may not be the best way to gain clients, because you have to really determine if your clients are on Instagram and if they're going to be looking for you on Instagram, right?
Yeah. And I also kind of come back to it from that place of, I put dietitians right up there with physicians. I'm not going to go to a physician that's dancing to some song. Just saying, like, even though I have I love dancers, I'm thinking awesome, but I'm like, you just danced to this song and I am, no, your credibility went way down for me.
That's such a good point, Adrien. Oh my God. You're so right. Like, would we go and pick a healthcare provider off of Instagram because they did a really good reel? Come on, y'all. Let's all just marinate in that thought.
Yes, yes. Or would I pick a healthcare provider based off of the referrals I got from checking them out with other people? Like somebody I know, like, and trust is recommending me go see this provider. Yeah, I'm totally going to do that.
Yeah. Oh my God. So good. So good. So when you're talking, so good. The whole Instagram thing just really just, I have so many like opinions about it. And I'm not here to like flood my podcast with my opinions on everything, but I just want y'all to know that I love social media, but I don't think that it's everything. And I believe that you can build a very profitable practice without even being on social media. I have recently met two seven-figure RDs who don't really do all of the social stuff.
Mm.
And I think it's really probably because they're spending their time doing more important things that are building their practice, that are allowing them to hire dietitians on board, that are allowing them to have really good referral partnerships with doctors and therapists and whoever else they want to partnership with. So as I'm saying, Instagram, I love you. Facebook, you're all good. But how is it going to help you build the practice that you want to build is really the question.
Amen, sister friend. Oh my gosh. I'm like, ah,
I
like,
know.
oh, if I could give you all the high fives, I would.
I know. I know. It's just so crazy. So what do you feel, Adrien, in regards to accountability? Let's go back to that.
Yeah.
Accountability. My tongue is tied today. What do you feel is the best way to seek out that accountability? Because as we all know, there is a lot going on in the online world in regards to hiring coaches or buying programs and courses and things. So, what would you suggest to our listeners about that?
Do your research, do your research, do your research, do your research. And also interview people, because this is your money. You want to invest it really, really well. And I truly do believe in coaches. I think and I know that work with people, I work with people. Everybody has a different flair, and the way I say things are going to resonate different than with the way you say things. And so interview people. And I always tell people when I do a discovery call, who else have you talked to? Please go talk to other coaches, because I might not be the best fit, and I don't want to take your money if I'm not the best fit, because I'm going to work very differently and it might not be the best jam for you. So find a coach, and it might not also be in the dietetic field. Like I said, my group coaching that I'm a part of, There's some in sales, there's some in recruiting. There is such a very different group of people. I wanted that because I wanted to learn from other professions.
Mm-hmm.
And in my group coaching that we offer, it's not just dietitians, there's therapists, there's chiropractors, there's other people, because I think everybody has a different perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I think do your due diligence. Like if you are going to be a business owner, put your big girl panties on, big guy panties on, and do your research.
Big guy panties. That is a vision. That is a vision. Big guy panties. I love it. So yes, I think that we definitely need to do our work. And I certainly have had um a handful of clients who I thought were a good fit and they just weren't. And it was not their fault and it wasn't my fault. It's just what it is. And I want to invite those of you listening to have a different perspective when it comes to coaches and when it comes to air quotes bad coaches. And this is a different perspective that I have for you. What if there really was no such thing as a bad coach? And what if there really, for those of us who are coaches, was no such thing, there's no such thing as bad clients. It just is what it is. And I have adopted this to be true for me because I know that when someone decides that my coaching isn't a good fit for them, I don't go into a whole drama in my mind about it because I know that I have a multitude of other clients who are benefiting. And what if we can just be okay with people moving on? Maybe they got what they needed and then they just could not receive anymore. They maybe didn't have the capacity to receive more. They did not want to receive more, and that's okay because we all here as humans have the ability of choice and free will. And so there is a perspective that we could all take on if we choose, which is there is no such thing as bad coaches. There is no such thing as bad clients, that we all have the free will of choice to move on when we want to and find fits that feel better for us. You know what I'm saying? And that feels a lot better than to be in judgment of other people. Um, and it took me a lot of headspace, a lot of head work to take on this perspective because I would way back in the day get into the whole mind drama of when my health and wellness clients would, be like, oh, this is not working for me, and I'd be like, oh, what did I not do for you? Or what am I not giving you enough of? And da, 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 da. But
Mm.
maybe if I were, in that space where I could have chosen to think differently, I would have chosen what I just shared.
Oh, totally. And I think it's one of those, everybody is on a different path, and maybe this path is supposed to be us working together right now. Maybe it's not. And
Hmm.
again, no good, bad, right, wrong. It's just that path of where everybody is right now.
Hmm.
And it's like, I love what you said of like, are they willing to take on that acceptance of change in that moment or not? And what you
Hmm.
have to offer, are they ready for it or not? And I think that's the biggest part of like everybody's on a different path. And so if you can figure out what path you're on, is it a good match with that coach? Maybe it's not. And so I think it's just about matching up.
Yeah, totally matching up. But sometimes you mismatch and then that's okay. And you figure it
Yeah.
out hopefully early enough in the process and then you move on.
Yeah.
So Adrian, you mentioned that you have your practice and you've been in this practice for like 14 years, right? And
Yes.
you have how many dietitians on
We
staff?
have about eight dietitians on staff, and they're just amazing.
Okay, nice. And so I would love for you to share to inspire our listeners, like you don't have to share a number, but like where are you falling in range of revenues so that dietitians can hear that, yes, we can make good money as dietitians.
So our group practice is definitely in the seven-figure revenue realm.
Oh, you're killing me. You're the second one, girl. You're the third one. Holy, holy. Y'all. Okay. I have to contain myself. I love you.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, it's work. Like it's not one of those like, oh, I don't go to work. Like I'm not on Instagram because I'm working.
Yes.
And so I think I always am very honest about I work a lot, like a good 10-hour day some days. And so I'm not ever gonna sugarcoat it that, oh, I just see a couple patients. Like, no, so that's the other thing is it is work.
You are, but you're earning it, and I'm sure you're able to reap the benefits of it in so many ways in your life, not just, in business ownership, but you're able to create a life and a lifestyle that you really want for yourself. So I'm sure you wouldn't be working those 10-hour days if it wasn't something that you really love doing and it
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
benefiting you.
Oh, definitely. And yes, exactly. Like I work these 10-hour days. One, I mean, I love being a dietitian and I love helping other dietitians do what they want to do. And so if I can do that on the back end for my girls, I'm going to, because I truly believe this is an amazing profession. And I know we're not done yet with our practice. Like we have so many more goals that we're working on accomplishing. And I'm willing to put those hours in because I want to provide health insurance for my girls. I want them to be able to work the way they want to work, see the patients they want to see. I want to be able to have a practice where they are able to make a good salary and have health insurance in a private practice.
Oh my God. You just said the same thing that the other colleague of ours said about her 7-figure practice, which is, she really, more than having that revenue coming in as being the only thing that is a benefit, the biggest benefit is to be able to employ other dietitians with a good salary and benefits. You guys said the same thing. You guys are amazing. And this is proof, you guys, that when women make money, hello, listen up. Y'all listening? Like seriously, when women make money, they do good by their money. Most of them, okay? I can't give you for all the people. However, when we make money as women, we tend to give back. We give to our communities, we give to others, we give to charitable organizations. We want to give back with our money. And that's why it is so important for us to really focus on changing our mindset of what it means to have money as a female, as a woman business owner, because we can change things, because we want to get out there and create change because we want to.
Yes.
Not because we feel like we have to, right?
Oh, you get more inspired and you're like, oh, I can do more now. Like it's always been my dream to be able to offer health insurance to my dietitians. It's been a dream to be able to give them a salary. We didn't start there, but holy hell, I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna figure it out. Just because I think that's the right thing to do. My next big goal is to be able to afford maternity leave for everybody at a reasonable rate. Like, come on, we're mainly women in this profession. And so I think that's the right thing to do.
Oh my God, you're inspiring so many people right now. And I'm just loving every minute of it. It is just necessary for us to hear these stories because we hear too many of the stories that are the total opposite about how dietitians aren't making money or they can't make money. That's the part that really burns my britches, is when I hear someone say that they can't make money and they make up all of the reasonable reasons as to why they believe that is true. And I'm just here to debunk your truth and really help you to see what's possible through social proof. Like, here are the people, here are your people coming on this podcast showing you that it is possible. Are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to put in not just the physical work, but the mental and emotional work that you have to do to rewire your brain. Your neural pathways in your mind, or excuse me, in your brain need to be rewired. Are you willing to do that work? That is really the starting point. It has your mindset, your thoughts have to change. You have to believe that you can make money.
Oh, 100%. If you don't believe it, that you can make money, you won't. But if you
Yeah.
have that ability to like, oh yeah, there's a way and I will figure it out. I might not know it today, but I will figure it out and it's going to happen. And
Mhm.
again, scared money don't make money. If you're scared of money, you're not going to make it. Um, so you got to
That's
love it
true.
and be besties with it. And like, it's all good. It's not a bad thing.
It really isn't. Money is such a great thing to have because we can change the world with the more money that we have. And you guys already probably know that um, if you're a bad person already and you get money, you're just going to continue to be a bad person with money. But I don't think that I'm talking to bad people out here. I think that I'm talking to people who want to be of service, people who love other people who want to help people. So if that's already who you are, just imagine how much more you're going to be of that, the more money that you are able to earn. The more money that you're able to earn, it will magnify your ability to help. It will magnify your ability to serve. It's going to magnify just what you can do for other people, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just change our mindset around money. This is the second seven-figure earning dietitian that I've had on the podcast so far. Um, if if you're listening and you're like the third or the fourth, come on, hit me up. I want to interview you. But you are the second one on the podcast. You are the third one that I've met. And it's just been a pleasure, Adrien. It really, really has been. You are just such a ray of sunshine. You're so fun. And what's the last thing that you want to share with your colleagues? What's if you could leave them with one golden nugget, what would you
Mm.
leave them with?
Well, thank you for all those ego munchies. I will take them. I love ego munchies. But as far as a golden nugget, man, and just one, I have like a gazoodle of them. Ask for help. I think
Mm.
that's as women, as business owners, we think we can do it all on our own, and you can. You're magic, but when you ask for help and you lean on others, it will help you to lean up. You will grow faster than you can ever imagine when you ask for help. And there's a community of other like-minded people out there. You just got to find them because people want to help each other.
Yes, yes. And speaking of communities, I have already started putting in motion a community that I've created called the Embody Academy. And you guys stay tuned for that because it is going to be amazing. It is already amazing because I'm claiming it as so. I already know how this is going to change so many lives and businesses across the globe, not just in the country, but across the globe. Thank you so much, Adrien. You're so amazing. Keep doing what you do. I know that you will. And keep inspiring all of us to reach for that seven-figure star.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Hey, if you want to learn more about how you can make more money as a dietitian, I want to invite you to check out my program, Charge What You're Worth. Now, to learn more about this program and how it can help you to become a top earner as a dietitian in business, just head on over to moneymindsetdietitian.com/work with me. Again, that's moneymindsetdietitian.com/work with me, where you can learn more about the Charge What You're Worth program and how it can help you.